Hey everyone, Ron Gasparetto here. And in this video today, I want to talk to you about a very sensitive topic, but it's an important topic, particularly this time of year, because I know a lot of people are struggling with this. And that is, how do you deal with loneliness? How do you deal with those feelings of that emptiness, that you're yearning for somebody or someone, and just that feeling of isolation and maybe that feeling that nobody cares? How do you deal with those emotions? And I know that they can be magnified, particularly this time of year, because it's such a festive season and people are getting together, going to parties with family and friends, and there's just a positivity and a lightness in the air. And if you're experiencing loneliness, I mean, man, that could be a heavy weight that you're carrying. And I know that feeling because I've certainly experienced that myself. I've been single a lot in my life, and I've had that feeling of loneliness and wishing somebody else was there. And I've had people pass on as well, and I've that feeling of missing them this time of year. And I know we all experience those feelings, but I know it weighs heavier this time of year. So how do we get past that? How do we lift ourselves up from that feeling of loneliness, particularly this time of year? Well, I have 5 ideas on that I'd like to share with you today. Now, the first idea, and let me explain this, is called accept and ask. And what do I mean by that? I mean, accept the emotion. Accept that you're feeling negative and down, and yeah, maybe a little depressed. Feel that. Because the worst thing you can do in your life is when you're experiencing a negative emotion is to push it down inside you and bury it and try to ignore it and pretend it's not there. Feel that negativity. Feel what you're feeling. Let that be okay. And then ask yourself a couple of questions. The first question is, what is that emotion? What is this feeling I'm feeling really trying to say to me right now? Because I find in my life, and I found in my life, that usually when I'm experiencing this feeling of loneliness in my life, that there was other things in my life that I wasn't happy about, that were going on in my life, that I wasn't really happy about myself and the direction of my life. And yes, the loneliness was there, and I did miss that person, and I did wish somebody else was in my life, yes. But there was a magnification that came with that as well, because I knew there was other things going on in my life that weighed heavy. So whatever that is for you, I just ask that question and sort of process that through in your life and try to find out what else is there that's maybe making you feel this sense of loneliness even more. And after that, just ask yourself the question in a very positive way. And if I could feel something better right now, and think of something better right now, what would that be? And just think of something that's maybe a positive experience in your past, or something that makes you feel good, maybe a movie you just watched, whatever it might be for you. Just ask yourself that question and just marinate in that thought and that feeling for a while. And what you'll find is another thought will join that thought, and before you know it, you get a little momentum going to sort of lift you out of your funk a little bit. So I find that asking those questions really helps me move on from that feeling of that despair or loneliness that I'm feeling at that moment. The second thing I suggest that you do is to reach out to somebody. Because what I find is that there's always somebody in your life, whether it's a family member or a friend or whoever it might be, that you can reach out to when you're feeling these feelings of loneliness. So maybe it's going over to their house for a visit, or going out for a coffee, or just talking on the phone, whatever it might be. Because the problem is, when we're feeling this feeling of loneliness, there's also this feeling that we have that we feel almost embarrassed that we're feeling this, or that maybe we shouldn't be feeling this, and there's something wrong with us. So we don't want anybody else to know about it. So we sort of pull ourselves back. That's the worst thing you can do. Reach out to somebody. There's always somebody in your life that you can reach out to who wants to help you, lift up in your life. So I really suggest you do that. The third thing you should do is to reach out for somebody. Because let's face it, there's other people in your life, in society, in the world, that are experiencing loneliness right now with you. And you could be their salvation. You could be their source of inspiration. So reach out to those people. Whether it's going to a local hospital, or maybe a retirement home, or a local food bank, or maybe it's just another friend that you know, or somebody you know who's experiencing loneliness now. Call them up, invite them over, go to dinner with them, do something for somebody else, because when you do something for somebody else, it lifts you up. We all know that. We all know that when we extend ourselves out to somebody else and we serve somebody else in our lives, it makes us feel better about ourselves. So not only are you winning, that person is winning too, because there's a lot of people who need you and you need your help this time of year as well. The fourth thing I would suggest that you do is just do something positive for yourself. Do something that makes you feel good about yourself. Now, you should do this any time of year, always anyways, but this time of year magnify it. So really focus on doing something that you enjoy doing for yourself. So maybe it's sitting down watching a good movie with a bowl of popcorn and a drink, or maybe it's going for a nice walk on a beautiful winter night. Whatever it is for you, do that for yourself. Pamper yourself. Go to a spa if that's what's good for you. Whatever it is, do something for yourself. Because it's those little things that can raise our spirits and get us off that focus of loneliness and feeling sorry for ourselves, and sort of gets us out of that funk. So really focus on doing something really good for yourself this time of year. And the fifth thing I would suggest that you do, and I know we all know this, but really embrace the idea that you really are not alone. Now, I know this is a bigger picture idea, and it gets into a spiritual thing and a larger picture of the universe, but we have to recognize, and I think we all recognize, it doesn't matter what your background is or your beliefs or what that might be for you, but I think we all sense and we know that we're part of something bigger and more expansive in this universe. And there's something that's flowing in and out through all of us, this energy, this force, whatever you want to call it, that sort of links us all together. And we all know, spirituality has been telling this for many, many thousands of years, and scientists have been caught up in the last couple of hundred years, that we are all one. We are all linked on a deeper level. So I know that's hard to embrace and understand when you're in that negative mindset, because when you're in that negative mindset of being lonely and feelings of despair, it sort of cuts off part of the brain that can think logically. So what I suggest you do when you're in this sense of loneliness is at night, just quiet yourself down, maybe turn on some quiet music, turn down the lights, put on some candles, whatever it is for you, and just sort of quiet that, soften that negative talk that's going on in your head. Maybe get into your heart space a bit, get into that meditative space a bit. And what you're going to find is that once you do that, you just get more peaceful and centered inside of you. You're going to start sensing something more about yourself and about the universe, and you're going to just going to start feeling a little better that, you know something, this will pass. This feeling of loneliness, this isolation, this idea of missing somebody or wanting somebody in my life right now, I know it's going to move on. I know there's a bigger thing going on here. I know there's a bigger picture right here. I know I'm part of something bigger. So this too will pass. So I really suggest you do that, because we really have to understand that we are never by ourselves. We're always linked to ourselves, to each other, to a bigger force in this universe. So once you know and understand that and integrate that into your system, you're going to lessen those negative feelings of loneliness when they do crop up in your life. So I hope this video serves you and helps you a little bit in moving on to those points and those moments in your life, particularly this time of year for so many people, when you're experiencing that feeling of loneliness. And until next time, I invite you to go out there every single day of your life and live your best life from your true, most authentic self, with a loving heart, an open mind, and a joyous spirit.